Okay, so let's talk about one of my favorite topics, ecosystems, partnerships. We really all need to work together to keep the innovation moving. And we can't do it without each other, and we can't do it without the workforce. Let's talk about it. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, so you're right. Ecosystem is where it's at. We can't do anything by ourselves or in a vacuum. So we've got to rely on the strengths that we have out there and look at where the needs and where the resources. So with IACME, we have our core partners in terms of leading our research. We've got Oak Ridge National Lab, University of Tennessee. Those are in Knoxville, where obviously my background.
Yeah.
But we're also working with NREL, the National Renewable Energy Lab. Purdue is doing a lot of our simulation work. We've got the University of Dayton Research Institute, and we have a scale-up research facility in Michigan with Michigan State right now. So really tapping into the nation's best in terms of capabilities, resources, but we're also developing and working with the industrial network, right?
Yeah.
Those big aerospace companies that are really interested in advancing composites to save money and get higher performance out of their products, but also the small mom and pops, right? They want to work with composites. How do they engage and get that into their products? And one of the wonderful things that we do, and it really happens at our members meetings. So every year we have a members meeting where everybody comes together. And as you know, this is oftentimes a contact sport.
Yeah.
Getting together, sharing ideas. So the things that we formally do are impactful. The things that we just enable by getting people together across the supply chain, you've got small mom and pop shops talking to the likes of Airbus and trying to figure out, hey, we've got something innovative. How do we get involved in this? And those type of deals that are happening in the hallways and the break rooms are just outstanding. And so that type of ecosystem is the engine that really makes this work. And so we say that we're the 3 C's of convene, connect, catalyze. So we're bringing everybody together and it's a contact sport, and we're just catalyzing these new relationships, these new projects to really take everybody further.
COVID kind of put a halt to a lot of these in-person things, and we started to do a lot of connecting online, which I think has been wonderful for our industry, right? We're starting to create content. We're starting to have these organic conversations that maybe only happened at trade shows or at community events before, but we all realized that we really, really missed the in-person as well, because a lot of that serendipitous, connections, those dots that get connected, you just can't do that the same way online as you can in person. But I love now we're not backing away from the online. It's just a complementary, right? So IMTS is only every 2 years.
Right.
What do we do in between, right?
Yeah.
So we carry those conversations forward. And from your perspective, I would say especially with those smaller mom and pops, it's not as easy to wrangle as having 3 main partners that you can easily connect with. What kind of ways have you guys found to be conducive to connecting all of these different types of businesses or entities that are in your ecosystem?
Right. And you're right. COVID had a major impact on, that's an understatement, right? And it really prohibited us from getting together and really making business run like it should. But it also forced us to develop some really great online resources. Yeah. And you guys are doing that really in a great way. But it forced us to go online and develop we have a monthly innovation insights to where we feature companies from the large to the small to the academic folks, so that everybody knows what's going on and how to reach people and engage with people. We try to make it as communal as possible, right? And on the workforce development side of things, that has forced us into everybody, all of a sudden, everybody's a stay-at-home, a homeschooling mom and dad, right? It's like, oh, gracious, how do we do this? And the schools had to figure out how to do this. As a professor, I had to figure out how to reach my students online. Well, one of our great researchers with IACME, Tony Schmitz, sat at his kitchen table and developed the ACE curriculum, America's Cutting Edge, and developed online courses that are still being funded and increasingly so through the Department of Defense to introduce kids to CNC machining from the comfort of their couch and their PJs, right? Yeah. And it's all at no cost. Yeah. And so they get exposed to this. It's expose, educate, and inspire, right? Really get the kids aware of what's out there. They can take this online training in a few hours and get a little Credly badge that they can put on LinkedIn or something like that to let people know what they've been doing. And then once you finish that, we go in person. Yeah. So you finish that, you can sign up for a 1-week boot camp in person where you're actually doing the CNC machining and making pneumatic engines and things like that. So it's a perfect match between the online and the in-person. And I think those kind of hybrid models is what are really effective right now in a post-COVID world, because the online ability gives you the chance to get into every community.
Right, that's what I was about to say. It breaks down those barriers a bit.
Absolutely.
It opens up not just in your own community or your own geography, but really anybody with the passion that's maybe searching or seeking out something like that, they can find it.
Yeah, and we've got great stories, one after another, of anecdotes of people who have changed their lives and their trajectory in life because they logged on to americascuttingedge.org or metalforamerica.org and got introduced to a new technology that changed the track of their life. And that's where you just I get really excited.
That's what you live for, right?
That's what you live for.
I hear the same thing when people say that something that I said or somebody that I interviewed, their story changed things for them.
Yeah.
That I think even if nobody saw it except for that one person, it was worth it.
Absolutely.
But the fact that you're impacting probably tons more people.
Right. And that's the great thing about, we're hitting over 10,000 students, participants through that. And the numbers are impressive. But it is about the numbers and getting it out there, but it's about the ones, right?
Yes,
the
those
ones
actual
where you change
lives
their
were
lives.
changing.
Yeah, and so that's what you go home at night thinking, I did something today.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit more about those programs and specifically what they're doing after another quick break.
Sure.